All right, finally getting around to cut some wood here. These logs here, these first 6 or 8 right here, are pretty old. Let this warm up. If it starts, we'll warm it up. It should. There we go. After I cut all the pieces, the logs, it's easier. It's a lot more work, yeah, but you'll see when I get to splitting. Much easier doing it this way. More organized. I wouldn't say it's easier, it's more work. And after a couple minutes, we are all warmed up here. Yeah, I'm really behind. I gotta burn this year. Got a couple months to let it sit. I think I'll be all right. Now, for the most part, right now when I cut my cordwood, I'm running an 8-pin on here. But I do find it much more helpful if I run a 7-pin if I'm going to cut down live trees. It just works a lot better. But for this, piece of cake. Alright, so the camera didn't record just the past couple minutes, no big deal. So if you missed my BS, I just find it much easier to do this, stack it this way, so it keeps the area clean, helps me with the splitting so I don't have to keep running over and grabbing pieces while the splitter's running. I put it in one place, so it might be a tad too long, but I find if I, split this or cut this like this after work, and I make a pile, and I come split it the next night, it just goes so much quicker. And that's how it seems to work. It is more work, but it's what it is. In the long run, it's easier for me. So it doesn't look like a whole lot, but we're already starting to add up. Been out here 20-25 minutes or so. Let's roll a couple more logs down here. A little punky on the outside, but it's all right. It's nice when they end up about the same length down here, because I can cut them the same length, or cut them two at a time rather. This one's a little more difficult. Looks like the bug's been chewing a little bit down here, but just on the outside. It's nice if I can get this to hook in where I want it. Doesn't always happen. But I tell you one thing, for what I do, working on this pile, those other big PVs, the steel ones, I think there's other brands too. They're big tube fiberglass. They work good for some things, but I borrowed one. I much rather would use this on here. This works so much better for me. Another thing I do is I kind of like to keep everything the same length as far as cutting size. Call me funny, but I do. So, where'd you go? I picked one of these magnetic ones out a long time ago, and I'm not a big fan of it, but it works for now. Sometimes I have another smaller saw out here. I'll mark them. It would be better to just cut right through these while I'm here, but that's another day. That day's coming. All right, so as you can see, it goes pretty quick, 2 logs at a time, stack it. I'm gonna cut a little bit more, build up my pile a little bit, and we'll be back. We'll do some splitting. All right, this is what we got here. We got a little bit of a row behind here. Some of it's, you know, a little bit punky, but this splitter, it splits pretty much whatever you throw at it. So let me get you over here. We'll get you set up, and we'll try and blast our way through this and get it done. All right, here we go. looking to find an old snowblower engine or something like that. I really couldn't find a decent one. I got tired of borrowing people's splitters, and to be honest with you, it really didn't do what I needed to do or what I wanted to do. So I bumped into a guy who had this 18 horsepower Kohler that I got. So that pretty much told me what I was going to build. So this has got a 22 gallon a minute pump. Probably could have run a 28 on it. I believe it's a 5-inch bore piston, 2.5-inch rod, and it's a 24-inch stroke. But it hasn't let me down yet. Maybe sometime I'll put the 6-way back on it. I had the wings welded up here. Maybe I'll straighten it out. Someday I do want to build a log lifter for this. I did plan on doing that, and I planned on having this head, you know, hydraulically go up and down. But I just had to get it done, and it's worked good enough, so here we are. It's kind of a junk piece. Hopefully there's no ants in it. Oh yeah, they're everywhere. I usually have spray here. I should have known better, or I set those aside, split them somewhere else. But they'll die. This will be out here till the cold weather. On it, we had to split it. I don't really remember stabilizer jacks here from my local parts store years ago. Came with a wheel or the flat foot and the flat foot, and I think those are like 19 bucks. Like again, you can't beat that. So hopefully I'll get around to doing a quick video on Mike's 210, not a big deal, and I'll show you the other saw. I'd like to get into that and determine what I'm going to do with it. And I really don't know what I'm gonna build. I got some Firewood kits. I got some the Firewood 372s, and I have a couple of OE 372s. Not sure what I want to do. I picked up some for the Firewood kits. I got some other Firewood cylinders. I picked up some highway cylinders, some big bores, some different stuff. But I also want to take and get my shop set up. My shop's a mess. I still got the lathe. I got some tooling and stuff for it. I just got to make some room, and I'd like to make a little saw shop in there. A little neater of a place to work and build and get stuff. I've tried sometimes putting two pieces on there, two of the smaller ones, but it ends up, it's just kind of a pain. Quicker just doing it this way. I'm going to try and get 4 out of that piece, but it didn't work out so well, did it? So I appreciate all you guys who subscribe, watch my videos. I wasn't never in this to, make the money off it. I was just doing it for fun, sharing the stuff that I'm doing. I enjoy watching the stuff other people do. And kind of get a little editing program so I can do a little bit better stuff, but that's all I'm doing for now. The phone works out pretty good, and more I've been trying to use this DJI microphone setup. In the beginning, I had some bad luck with it because it wasn't fully plugging into the USB-C port on the phone. I did stuff and it was, no audio. It was just kind of a pain in the neck. But I still don't like plugging stuff in and out of the phone. Hopefully this isn't a damn one. Looks like it is. Might not be good, but we gotta get it out of the way, right? If I have, a couple people helping me, because usually when I cut, if I cut the pieces, somebody stacks them in a windrow like this, and then I split it, and the other person starts stacking it, so they both do it. Goes really quick. So I've done a trailer load of this stuff, which is Comes out to be maybe, 12, 13 cord, something like that. I've done a cord in the weekend. I'm in cord. Of course I can do a cord in the weekend. It's pretty close. I've done the whole load in the weekend with help. Not all stacked, but all cut and split. And that's not like 100% busted butt the whole time either. That's just a nice steady pace. Looks like another ant one, maybe. I'm gonna bust the pad anyway. Oh, just dry rot. It's alright. Yeah, usually I have, I forgot the name of it. I don't know if it's an ortho product with a sprayer. With spiders and all that stuff. Spiders, ants. I hit them while it's here. I'll be glad to get into a little more of the solid wood. That's coming up. There's a few more of the older pieces. Stuff that I got. If I had the log loader, might help out, but that stuff was nasty. They cleared an old lot out of a city, and they skidded the logs out with just a tractor, a bulldozer. They were just clearing it so they could build a building, and it was all full of dirt, rocks, nails, and yeah, what a pain. Some of the tree service wood though, I would deal with that if I could get some. And ideally, I'll get caught up enough, or I would be someday, at some point, that I could split with my plum Cassie there. Or I got another one that I gotta put a handle on. Haft it, or whatever you call it. I've never done that before. But that's something I gotta try. I got a pretty nice axe head that I got from Australia. We're almost done here. Nice out now because they're talking some thunderstorms, some pretty bad storms coming up, some hail, maybe a tornado watch, which is, I would say, unusual. Kind of is unusual, but get this done. I want to go in and watch some of the Supercross races there. Out there, if you watch, who's built their own splitter. If you did, what you use, how'd you do it? Let me know. Here we go, now we're pushing. I made this right here because when I get some big pieces, some nice oak, I can just throw them right up there. And whatever, I can barely lift it, but I can throw it right on there and it doesn't hurt anything. Tiny little wood salamander here. You probably can't see him. I don't know where he come from because I just put that wood there, unless he came out of the piece of wood. Put him over here. All right. it, but there's no restriction in the filter. That tank, if you can see it, the red tank came with the motor. What it was is it came on a trailer that had some type of crane on it. It was a flatbed trailer that somebody had built, like for a tractor trailer. But the truck that they had didn't have a wet system on it. So whoever did it had this motor, hang on, bought that 18 horse motor, put a different pump on it, and they made the hydraulics out of that, and the place went out of business. This other company wanted the trailer. They had a wet system on their truck or trucks, but they wanted to make sure everything worked. So the company went through, changed the oil and everything on this, got it running again, and they bought it. But anyway, so that hydraulic tank went with it. So I cut that open, cleaned it out. I put some speaker magnets in there, and yeah, that's about it. All right, last piece. That's kind of crappy piece, but it'll burn. All right, then I gotta push this out. It does end up getting caught. Throttle, that's a PTO or a regular throttle cable for just a throttle cable for a truck, whatever. But the brass piece that you twist and lock has worn out, so I gotta use the vice grips, but that's all right. So we'll let this cool down, take a walk back here, and we'll check out the pile. So I know this turned into quite a long video, but that's all right. What else were you gonna do today, except for watch me? All right, not a bad pile. I couldn't tell you how much it is. No idea. But I can tell you one thing, more than I had. So anyways, if I can get you up here, if you can see me, I appreciate everybody watching. I'm going to continue to work on this, probably not today, but I'll keep you informed. If you're interested, tune in, leave a comment. Thanks for watching.